It's the Jakub Show. It's time. Let's go.
As the Jakub Show continues, another fantastic topic that I wanted to bring to the audience today. And of course, with this topic comes bringing a friend on the show because it's a topic I can't tackle myself, but leading as an example to the public, I wanted to bring a friend which this topic applies to. So, Candice Mullard, welcome to the Jakub Show.
Thank you so much for having me, friend. Can I say friend? Because you are.
Friend. It's been a long time, and since we've talked to the airwaves, since we've communicated about anything of importance in the world today, but leaving those things behind and moving on to other chapters, we're going to revisit the past with, and maybe the current and the future with today's topic, which is somewhat subtly friendships. But I wanted to bring you on with this topic because there's a lot of avenues you can go with this type of thing. And some of it's negative, some of it can be positive, and some of it isn't really necessary. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I
just want to say, this is like a really cool topic for us because it's so off. It's so honest, and we were going so deep, and this is going to go deep because it's just who I am and you are. But this is very cool. I'm really happy to be talking to you about this, and just a really thorough friendship conversation. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, of course, because you and I always have conversations about like current events and things happening everywhere, news and shit like that. And it'd be a nice take to do something like this where it connects with other people and other audience and maybe some things that we haven't chatted about in an extremely long time, because you and I first met on a Facebook podcasters group and figured out like, holy shit, we're in the same area worldwide. And we kind of became friends from that, did a show together, and continued since that show to kind of maintain a friendship where we still talk about a lot of shit happening in the world, and which is necessary. You need to communicate about that stuff because others' opinions is important.
Yep. Agreed, 100%. And yeah, podcasting world is all about anyone that starts up knows that first starts up rather knows you got to communicate with your community, and going on other people's shows or reaching out to local and like-minded podcasters is how you get and form these friendships, and they grow into like real friendships sometimes. So yeah, here we go. Back on a podcast. I've missed it.
I'd like to say I miss it, but I don't know. I put out like 90 episodes a year,
I
so
know.
it's hard to say I miss it. I think through the summer when I skipped a couple months, like I don't know if I should skip them. But it's okay. It's just a thing now. But
yeah, it's part of your everyday thing.
here's this topic: friendships. I think there's certain levels to this, and this is something I'm very bad at, and I'm able to admit it. But I'm bad at not because it's my fault, because usually things are my fault, because that's just who I am. Friendships, when I first, when you grow up as a kid, especially in this old man's age, back then we didn't have that much accessibility to media, to like communication, to different things. Like we had a phone or in person. That's the only thing. And even then, as a kid, I usually never used the phone. It was always going places and talking to people, like school or outside of school in your neighborhood. And very rarely did I ever call anybody as a kid. So maintaining friendships was like in-person thing. And it was simple. It was straightforward. Everything ever happened, good, bad, drama, communication, anything happened, pretty much 99% of it was in person back then. And I think that was a simpler time to me anyway.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, if I can touch on that,
Oh, yeah.
I did have as a kid, probably not on the phone, but as a preteen and maybe even a little younger than that, I did use the phone. I did utilize it. I remember it very well, and my parents ended up getting me my own phone line. Remember when that
Ooh,
was the thing?
yes.
Ooh,
Two
had my
lines.
yeah, had my own number and stuff. So, however, I will say yes, the human to human contact and meeting everyone at a universal place, the mall, the movie theater or something was more of a thing than it is in simpler times. Um, Personally trying to get my kids more connected to doing that more so than, FaceTiming or
Hmm.
whatever the kids are doing these days.
Yeah, and I think the human to human contact has changed so much, and I think it's affected maintaining friendships throughout because even though it's so much easier to communicate with people, um, I don't think anybody, well, I don't think most people make think it's a big deal, and I'm a little bit different on this, and I need your opinion on this because I'm a little bit different. Like I'm so burnt out because as up to about the age of what? Let's see, beginning of college, I
Mm-hmm.
was the one that usually maintained like all the friendships. I would call people, I'd go see people, I'd go hang out with
Mm-hmm.
people, I'd do
Set things
things.
up.
Yeah, I would do
Mm-hmm.
all of that. I'd be the one kind of planning things, getting people together, getting stuff done. And then once got a cell phone, got other things happening in life, college, work, things like that, and then kind of went away from that. I think I got burnt out doing that for so long that it just didn't translate later on, and even
Mm-hmm.
still doesn't now. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But it just at that point, it was just like, okay, I'm burned out from making all the arrangements, kind of communicating with people, being the one that always like, hey, what are you guys doing? What do you want to do this weekend? What the boys doing this weekend? Where are we going? Stuff like that. Always being the
Mm-hmm.
one that always called at everybody and kind of arranged stuff, kind of burned me out. I think by the time college came around.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had that point ever?
Yeah, I think I've always been a huge communicator in all aspects of my life. So yes, but also no, because well, maybe not no, but I have grew up with very separate groups of friends. So I always envied people who had big groups of friends. There'd be like 10, 15, 20 of them that
Hmm.
all hung out. Unisex, right? Girls and
Hmm.
boys. And as my friends were all friendly with each other, but I tended to be more cliquey, which now that I'm saying that word out loud, it sounds a little shady, but it's true. My friends have always kind of been, um, groups of threes, fours, little sects, if you
Hmm.
will, of cults.
Cults.
But I wouldn't necessarily say that, and this could be that women are a little bit more combative in fighting for like the alpha energy. So
Hmm.
wasn't always having to be the communicator in my friend groups. Some of them, yes. But I will add to that and say now that I'm getting older and my everyday involves a lot of communication, being liaison, being a middleman,
Hmm.
for lack of a better term, I'm done. Can we swear on this show?
Oh, you do whatever you want.
Yeah, like I'm just fucking done being the communicator. And if I'm not involved in plans, and if you're not involved in plans and I forget to invite you, please don't be mad. Shit like that. It's like I don't want to do it. So, I don't want to be the communicator. It's not that I don't
Hmm.
want to be friends. I'm not necessarily interested in that. In really giving the energy to care if people get together anymore or not. And the people who do and will are the people that matter, I think, right?
Hmm. See,
Essentially.
yeah, and kind of go off of that. Like right now, and even the last 15 years or so, it's like I don't have time. Like I understand there's a lot of people that have, kids or maybe a little bit younger,
Hmm.
and they still have a group of friends. They still do that, and they still go out with their friends at least once or twice a week. And,
Yep.
but they still have, maintain the whole family and wouldn't work. And I'm like, I just don't have time for that. Like, I couldn't
No.
imagine myself. This may be just me because I'm just me. I don't couldn't imagine myself be like, okay, I'm gonna come home from work and then go hang out with my buddies for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours on whatever day and not do any of my like house stuff that I gotta do. Like, make
Yeah.
sure all my shit's ready for the next day and or stuff around the house. Like to dedicate all my excess time
Hmm.
to maintaining friendships and the work that it comes to making sure I maintain those friendships at this point in my life, or at least the last 15 years or so, is just not worth it, especially when I still have to be the one to maintain them.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think time is one of the most things that, like, for anybody that's listened to my show ever, is the most important thing to me in all
Hmm.
aspects.
Yeah, your family is
Hmm.
right. And sometimes I will go deeper and say, um, I've not lost friendships because that's not the term. I
Hmm.
have fizzled myself away from friendships that didn't understand early on in my marriage and motherhood that I want to put my children to bed before I pretend like I want to meet you out later.
Hmm.
Like these are things I want to do. And the ones that typically didn't understand were the ones that didn't have the same lifestyle as me at that time,
Hmm.
which is understanding. But if you're a good friend, then you'd understand and not make me feel awful for wanting to spend that time with my child, even if it's just one night that you're going out. Well, can't your husband do it? Of course he can. I don't want to not be there. Right? It's
Hmm.
part of time is biding your time and choosing your time and who you want to spend it with, honestly. And sometimes we do things for other people, but at what point do we stop doing that? And I think for you and I both, it's been in the last, well, you said 15 years, but I'm gonna go with like the last 5 years for me, more hardcore,
Hmm.
that I've been like, no, this is about me and my family and not about having to spend time with people who want to spend time with me. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's more about like, not only is it about like life priorities and time management, but like
yep.
doing things that are, I guess, important. Because yeah, you can value your friendships, you can value all that other fun stuff, but it's like, okay, but what do I put aside or for put on somebody else to do
Hmm.
while I'm doing that? So
Right.
it's just managing your time that way. And for me especially, it's like there is a group of people that will, on a consistent basis, that between myself and them, we will exchange messages. Like you and I will message. Like I
Hmm.
have a handful of friends that I will message at least once or twice a week about stuff, and
Hmm.
you maintain those friendships. But there's a large swath of people that, basically, if I wouldn't message, and I was the one to message last and haven't messaged me in 10, 15, 20 years
Hmm.
and won't message me until I
Hmm.
message. So that doesn't work for me that way.
No.
And don't forget, this also extends to uh, people even close to, not only friends, but people you know, and even sometimes even family members. And if I don't make that first message, it's not gonna return back to me. So personally, to me, those are the types of environments that I will not put myself into anymore.
Yeah, what's
So
the value in that? What's the
true.
value in that? And that
Good point.
that it's to trickle down for that is relation friendships, more specifically that you're in, where they're one-sided like
Hmm.
that. All things good, bad, bright and shiny and dark and gloomy about this person, but they don't fucking know anything about you. That happens to me often too.
Hmm.
And I will reflect as I do. I like to like overthink and think about relationships, conversations, and things that have happened to me, and analyze them and realize that a lot of the time, the people that I was giving my most energy to as far as friendships goes was people who knew nothing about me because they didn't ask. And I may be an oversharer in some things, but when it comes to personal things, I am not. If I'm asked and I feel comfortable, I'll share. But I've a lot of the time been in these friendships where people connect to me because I'm an empath and I like to listen and I have good advice and good values to give them, but it's never reciprocated. Just like you said, like, if you don't reach out, they won't reach out. Well, I quite the opposite for me. I was getting people reaching out, these friends reaching out so much to be their crutch, to be their ear.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing that, but it, it drains you. And then you realize, it's self-realization is that you're allowing these people to do that to you. It's not their fault. It's that you're allowing them to take that energy from you, and to kind of it be a one-sided friendship. And I have really realized that lately, and it's just not something that I want to do anymore,
Mm-hmm.
is to allow people to kind of just dump their things and then, not even inquire to know mine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a tough one to swallow with friendships, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a category. I put those same people that always use you as an emotional dumping ground, is what I call them.
Yeah.
Always the same people that will drop you within a millisecond in public to move on to the next person that will listen. So that happens quite a bit too. So they're there to move their emotional stuff from them to you and have you take all that on, and then like, oh, next person's here, maybe they'll hear my story and they'll react to it and they'll move on to the next person. I've seen that happen quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's just one of those things that's happened. So you have to be careful how you pick and choose and communicate. And the good example of that is like when I switched jobs, and you'd be surprised when people talk to me when I was at this at my old place. But since I moved a couple years ago, the same people that would talk to me on every day, nothing,
Yeah,
not a
right.
peep in years,
Right.
don't
Yeah.
exist, which is fine with
It
me. I like
is.
to keep
Yeah.
all that drama in behind me,
Right.
but it's like, huh? But you understand like um from it's a good example of like when you have a group of people and then you just remove yourself, and if they needed you, they try to keep you in that loop,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
that's they don't need your energy or your ear availability.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I really don't blame people. I blame nobody.
Hmm.
It's a self-realization that you're allowing people to do that to you.
Yep.
And, cut it off and they're going to find someone else to do that too, because in all honesty, those folks don't realize what they're doing. It's
Hmm.
just who they are. Unfortunately, I'm not good at breaking up with people, and I just kind of distance myself because at what point is it not up to them to self-realize? I don't need to write a book or a letter or a note or a text to you to let you know why you fucked up. If you can't realize why I haven't reached out or we haven't connected in years or months or weeks, it's maybe you should sit and think about like what would be the reason. And it's not up to me to train everyone. I have two children at home that I am trying to teach about friendships.
Hmm.
Um, I don't need to teach people how to be friends. I need to just focus on myself being a good friend from what I know, and then allowing my children to see how to be a good friend through me, and also making them realize that friendships aren't everything. Because they're not. And growing up, I don't know if maybe it's different, like I said earlier, with women or girls, but sometimes we think friends are everything and that we can't live without them because we see them all day at school and this and
Hmm.
that. And I just want my children to know that is not your future. They can be a little bit of what makes you happy and get you through life, but don't rely on others, your friends for your whatever have you. You got to rely on yourself. So,
Right. It's one of those things we got to remember. Those are probably the best example of like the in the moment stuff. Like, yeah, you have friends in the moment. Utilize that in the
yeah.
moment. That's one of the best benefits of having friends at a certain points is you can utilize that in the moment and have that experience and be like, look, I have friends, I have people to communicate with, and do all these things with, but it's in the moment, and that's as far as you should plan. Taking a positive spin out of all of this, because
Hmm.
there's two different angles that you and I are communicating with people. One way abusing your friendship, and then on the other angle is people abusing your friendship by not utilizing your friendship. So
Hmm.
it's two ways of how it friendships can be abused. But let's look at some of the positive things, because I think maintaining a significant circle of friends is a benefit.
Hmm.
Like what I mean by that is uh, not only similar mindset or smaller, tight knit,
Hmm.
and a circle where everybody kind of knows what's happening.
Hmm.
Like when you do take a week or two from messaging, everybody knows, like, yeah, automatically knows why,
Hmm.
and uh, that's a benefit to having a small group of friends like that. Not even
Yeah.
that they all know each other, because, like, for example, my group of friends, most of them don't know each other. They're from different parts of my life, but
Hmm.
the communication between myself and them is fluid. It might not be daily, might not be once a week, but significant enough where everybody knows what's happening at all times.
Hmm. Because they care and probably care to ask and you care to update, right?
Right.
There's a small, tight-knit group for sure. I totally understand that. Are your friends all like separate, or did you grow up with a big group of friends that all continue to kind of chat, or no, are
No,
you all sporadic?
yeah, I kind of ended at high school.
Hmm.
Then everybody kind of went their separate ways after that. College in different, totally separate group, and then kind of everybody spiraled out of control in different directions after that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like I said, just in my scenario, it's like certain people from different parts of my life
Yeah.
that are still hanging on into this to this thing. So that's my thing. I don't have too many people that stayed together for extremely long time. And those
Hmm.
have that I've known for an extremely long time are doing their own thing. And like I said, that's kind of the whole friendships thing. It's a different level.
Definitely.
But what is just some of your tips, kind of from what your experience, to maintaining a healthy friendship where you have that communication and and a better outlook for the future, maintaining those friendships?
I'm gonna say probably number one would be to be true to yourself. And if you're in a friendship where you can't be honest, not that you have to overshare and they have to know everything about you, but if you can't be who you are to that person, then I would say, maybe reconsider the value of that friendship and also normalizing the fact that not everyone has to be your friend.
Hmm.
The word acquaintance is a beautiful word. I believe for some reason, I'm getting deja vu. We've spoken about this before, either on a personal note or on one of our many shows together. But I feel as though we are quick to call people friends,
Hmm.
and don't really move through life knowing that, even someone you see at work on a daily basis could just be an acquaintance.
Oh yeah.
A friend is something deep. It's something I take very, very seriously. And I'll end this with and end this phrase with a note saying that I know I haven't always been the best friend to some people. I can understand that. I'm not perfect, but I'm a work in progress, and I stand by the friendships that I maintain and the ones that I've kind of let go to the wayside because like there's always a reason. Always going to be a reason.
Hmm. No, that's true. And hopefully this episode opens up a lot of conversations in these types of topics, and maintaining friendships, and making sure the friendships that you hold are necessary and supportive, and what you need in your life. So hopefully that we can spark some type of conversation here today with the Jakub Show. So, Candyce, it's been fantastic. You're welcome on the show anytime, and I appreciate you jumping on and helping me out.
Yes, thanks again for having me. And this is a cool topic. I'm happy to be on, and if you think of anything else that we could chat about, let me know and I'll be back.